What's up, nerds? I'm Christian Harloff. No, you know that's not true. But you know how Christian and Brett do absolutely everything together? Well, they did something really, really cute this week. They got COVID together. They're such cute besties. So I'm here in a takeover, and Brett's going to be joining me even through the vid. So everybody treat him with kindness. You always do anyway. We're talking about a lot of different stuff going on in the entertainment world. Dungeons and Dragons is coming out this weekend. I've already seen it. How's it going to do in the box office? Are people going to like it? Are all the D&D fans going to riot? What's going to happen there? I'm pissed at Twitter. Christian's been telling me for years that Twitter's a dumpster fire, and I've been standing up for it for far too long. And now they're taking away my blue check mark, and I'm so sad about it. I know, very relatable. There's a new Pixar trailer that I heard absolutely nothing about until Brett told me, and then I watched it and it was adorable, but I think we have different opinions, so we will debate it. We will put up the Dukes over Pixar. Yep. And then Ryan Coogler is planning an X-Files reboot. I was a big X-Files fan back in the day. Can't wait to discuss. I know Brett was not. Momoa confirming that Aquaman is going to make a return to DCU. Once again, confusing. Christian has been telling us that DC is making some confusing moves. Again, I've been standing up for DC like my life depends on it. But this one, I am conflicted about, unless it means that he's going to be in the Flash, because aren't we starting something new? Who knows? Speaking of new, if you're new here, subscribe, hit that button, yo. We want to get to 100,000 subscribers. Join us on this journey. What would make you want to join this journey more than two grown men giving each other piggyback rides and pointing to a 100,000 subscriber sign? Seriously, we appreciate every single subscriber. If you're not already subscribed, hit that notification button. Make sure that the bell is on, all of those good things, so you know when we are live. Christian's been going live so much more often on the show, so if you're not subscribed, you're definitely going to miss something. Also, check us out on Spotify. We got video there now, y'all, so you can see our really beautiful faces. Yes, I'm talking about Brett on that one. And of course, rock our merch. It took me so long to get Christian to get me a white big thing sweatshirt, and I now wear it almost every day, despite what you guys think. I love our merch. You're going to want to make sure you're rocking some, especially because we're going on a live tour, baby. Yeah, we're starting our live tour April 28th in Los Angeles. Everybody's going to be there. It's at Flappers. If you want to be cool like the rest of us, thechristianharloff.com. It's not just Christian Harloff, it's thechristianharloff.com. We've got Brett, Coy, myself, Kate, Winston, Steph, Mike. Everybody is showing up for this one, and we're going to have a really good time there. And we're going to have a good time on the show right now. So let's get right into it. The big thing. Okay, that was me attempting to start with the fart noise just to show you guys what kind of payback I'm going to do with Christian Harloff not here. Also, really important, joining me, Brett Sheridan, everybody.
Woo! That was awesome. I'm so happy with how you introed the show, Rox, and everything popped up on the right time. My editing is going to be so much easier than it was yesterday.
Wow, I thought you were being sarcastic.
No, you're a pro. You're like, oh, I don't know. What are we doing? It's like before the show, you seem very flustered and like kind of like frustrated because there wasn't much, and you just like banged it out, just like boom, 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 boom. I'm like, okay.
I seem flustered and frustrated.
Yeah, you're like, I can't hear you. I don't know what you're talking about.
Brett was trying to tell me these points, and then he was putting himself down below. I was never frustrated or flustered. Listen, you're going to make people think I'm one person on air and a different person separately. Well, when we're not on air, I scream at Brett. I was sitting here being like, get your shit together, Brett, or out.
It wasn't that. It was more of like, I could feel it too, because we were looking at the stories, and there's not a ton of news. We're just kind of going.
Brett, remember, we're still in the first couple minutes of the show. We're trying to get people to stay. We don't tell them it's been a light news day.
Oh no, it's been a huge news day, actually.
Huge. It's been massive, Brett. It's been really, really big. It's like we're talking about our favorite franchises here today.
Yeah.
I know that you are absolutely obsessed with X-Files, have been since you were young.
My favorite.
Getting into all
but
of that.
But everybody comes to these shows, Rox, for your TV picks. So, I mean, it's still, always going to be an awesome show with Roxy's TV picks.
I honestly... I got to get a better fart sound. If I'm going to be my own soundboard, it can't really be that wet of a fart. It needs to be a drier. No.
Ooh.
I tried to go high pitch. I can't.
You did 2 different sounds at one time.
Yeah, I did. Is that good?
Yeah, it's like a fart in a tornado. It's kind of
like a fart in the wind. The other thing I was thinking about was trying to do some kind of rendition of. Wait, I never know. Rendition or rendition?
Rendition. Yeah.
Rendition of Shoes and Beef. And I was trying to think of. Ooh. Okay, like Who's and Peas. I don't know. I felt like I could really nail it. I didn't just now. And it was like a fart in the wind. Good, Rox. Very good. And
hummus and pita.
Christian tortured me that I could get back at him right now. We'll figure it out during the show. One thing that he was right about, though, Brett, is Twitter. I'm so bummed about this. Did you hear what they're doing to us?
Well, I know that I thought they were going to get rid of the ones where you could pay for it, but they're losing blue marks altogether?
Yeah. No, if you're not paying for it, you don't get to keep it. Okay. I understand that this is the least relatable way to start the show possible. Mm-hmm. But just let me have this platform for 1 second because I won't be able to talk about this anywhere else. I am verified on Twitter, and it has been so unbelievably helpful in my life. I have booked jobs that way. I have fake accounts of me made all of the time. This makes it so that you know that I'm me. It makes it so that I can book interviews and I can discuss things with my colleagues that are notable in their field. It has been really, really helpful. And it was hard. Not hard to get, but harder to get. And the fact that now the only way to get it, you have to pay for it, means that it's worthless because it's not going to help protect me against any of those things or help book me things. And it's genuinely a form of income for me. So I understand how egregious this complaint is. And there's a million other things going wrong on Twitter, legitimately a million.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a cesspool of just crap and piss and farts and with the sound of the high pitched sound. But I'm so bummed. Like what? And now on Instagram, you can pay for verification too. They're just getting rid of all the things that help my job, and I'm pissed.
And I feel you, and I know you think it's like, oh, this is problems of what but I'm not a social media person. I'm pissed for you because I know that it takes that much, and I know that Christian had the hardest time getting his too, and you put the work in, and then so wait, if you can pay to verify, that means you can pay to be fake somebody.
So they're saying that you need to sign up with a license or whatever, but you can still make a bot and you can call yourself a parody account.
Yeah.
So like you could be Roxy Striar and then in small text under it could say parody. And it's like, but they could be verified and I'm not going to be verified because I'm not paying $8 for something that's useless.
Yeah. It doesn't, it lost its whatever. It's not special anymore. I totally agree with you. I did find a lot of fun when the parody accounts for like Ben Shapiro and things like that came out. There was a lot of fun to be had with those, but
I know there's still moments where Twitter is a shining light. There are still moments, but it's few and far between. And the things that my feed are showing me now are things I don't care about, just genuinely don't care about. And I also used to use Twitter to get all my entertainment news. As we were prepping for this show, I was like, okay, so what are the big stories right now? And I know Christian always goes to Dark Horizons because we gotta fuck with our man G-Man. Is that his name?
Yeah, G-Man. Yeah.
G-Man, yeah. All of a sudden I was like, is it H-Man? No, G-Man. Dark Horizons, G-Man. But I always go to Twitter. I check out Twitter Entertainment, and it's just not the same. Like whatever, however they're organizing things, it's not things I care about anymore, and it's all different. Like the business side of things, it's not the big news announcements that we used to have. So I sent Brett digging because, like he said, flustered and annoyed. I said,
No.
Brett, get to the coal mines and find me some entertainment news.
I think I think what it was, I think we were both kind of like, what are we supposed to do? Do we do this? Is there something he wants us? And I just felt like I didn't give you enough information, and also I kept cutting myself out and not talking and not realizing
It
you
was a
couldn't.
little bit of a comedy act. He was like, okay, the one thing you have to remember to do is, and I said, Brett, I can't hear you. Brett, I can't hear you. And he'd come back on and be like, did you hear that last part? And I was like, no. What I didn't hear was the one thing I have to remember. He's like, oh, I don't remember what it was. Okay. Really, really good.
Perfect.
But you did, when I did send you to the coal mines, you came out with a trailer that I didn't know had come out, which is a new Pixar trailer. It's kind of weird that there's a new Pixar trailer dropping and I didn't hear about it at all. I didn't know Elemental was even going to be a movie. Maybe you guys at home are way more well versed in Pixar, but I'm wondering if it's because most people feel like Brett did. So, Brett, you watched this before I even checked it out. You said to me, this is a little lackluster.
Yeah, I did I think my first solo trailer reaction yesterday in the morning. I did it like at 8:30 in the morning, and it's got, I mean, of course it's beautiful. It's Pixar. It's like I was visually, it was stunning. But I mean, right off the bat, it was like three just dad jokes, like, well, as fire, we're a little heated, and I'm like, okay, it's a little cheesy, I get it. Maybe they'll have some better ones. So for me, I think it was the lack of comedy, of good comedy, which my son even said to me, he goes, it's a Pixar film. They're all kind of goofy. I'm like, okay, but no, there's some good writing in some of these, And the other thing was, I didn't feel like I was gonna like cry during this, and I just love I love an up. I love
Yeah.
those kind of things. I want to feel that heartstring being pulled, and I just
Is
didn't.
Up your gold standard, Brett? Is that your Pixar number one?
That one destroyed me, but
So good.
I would say that Toy Story is by far my favorite of all of those, and that was just a connection with my kids, and especially my son, who dressed up as Woody to go to the third one in theaters with me when he was a little tyke.
That's really cute. This kind of reminded me of Inside Out a bit. And I love Inside Out, but instead of with emotions, it's with elements. And watching it, I have to say, Brett, I think your second bout of COVID has you a little jaded. Because this was precious. Is this your second bout?
Yeah,
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 second bout. Well,
worse than the first.
hit me up when you get to the third club. So tell me when you're on my level.
Oh wow.
Yeah, get on my level. Please don't get on my
No.
level. I thought this was really cute. I think that it's going to be a really good one. And I did get a little emotional when Water says to Fire, you've never left Firetown. And so I do think we're going to get that feel of it, of you. Everybody's been, all the elements have been segregated. And what happens when your world is opened up to something new and something different. And I did feel like, oh, okay, I can see this is going to be kind of a journey, and I'm looking forward to this. Was it the best trailer of all time? No. And I do feel like there are different gold standards for different people, and if you are an up person, this is never gonna be. I
Oh
mean,
no.
I don't know that we're ever gonna get another up. People in life are either a Wally person or an up person.
Oh
I,
wow.
I'm an up person.
Yeah.
I'm an up person through and through. Wally was fine. Up was gold. And I'll fight anybody to the death on that. But I'm looking forward to this. I'll definitely watch it. I mean, I feel like you will too, Brett, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, because and it probably will. I'm guessing pay off better than I'm imagining. Like I want to be surprised by it because I think this could be a Wally, because this is a love story. I'm guessing between the fire and water.
What was the Pixar movie with the blue people with the dad was dead and they want to get him back to life? Maybe they weren't blue and maybe they weren't people.
Oh, was it? Oh,
I feel like it was the same year as Soul. It was the other one that came out and kind of came and went. And
ooh.
they try to put the dad together, and he's dead, and they try to shape him together.
Oh, I don't know that one. I can't. Wow.
No, come on, somebody help me. Whatever it was,
In the
I
chat.
I remember feeling like when I saw the trailer, like, oh my god, this is gonna be the best. And
Hmm.
then the movie just kind of came and went. So maybe it bodes well for this that it is that the trailer is a little lackluster. You're going in with low expectations. What the hell was the name of that movie? It was these two guys and they're on this journey and their dad is dead and they get like a glimpse of him being alive and they try to put him together with like chewing gum and like a stick.
Wow, I don't know this.
There's only been like 40
It's not
Pixar movies.
Luca. Luca was.
No, no, dead parent. Dead parent.
Wow.
Pixar movies. Can
Dead
you help
parents.
me?
All of
No,
them.
no, no. Every single Pixar movie has some kind of dead parent. I just did a TikTok about this, but you kind of can't be a prince or Onward.
Onward. Okay.
Did you see Onward?
No, I don't think so. Wait, did I? No, I didn't see that. Okay, they're blue people ish.
Wow, I described that really well, and you left me
Yeah,
hanging.
I didn't. This one just kind of flew past my radar. I didn't know that they tried to put their dad together.
I
Like, I
don't
don't.
really know, and now that I said it, I don't know if I saw the movie.
I love
I think that
that.
was just from the trailer that I liked.
Is that? Do you have that happen a lot? Where
Yeah.
I think I've seen a film. Like, I've never seen The Godfather. I realize, but I've only seen clips of it from like award shows and things like that back in the day when it was.
Wait, but when did you realize you'd never seen The Godfather?
The last couple of years, I think when I first started Schmoes, I think I was like, hey, wait, I don't think I've seen that. I think I've only seen clips of it, and I know it's something I'm supposed to see, but there's so many new things that I'd like to watch too.
Are you gonna watch it?
I think at some point, maybe with like my son when he gets older, or my daughter, like I like to anything like
They're
that. I
old
want to.
enough.
Is my daughter? Yeah, she's past her sensitive time
Do
now
you
that
not
she's
watch
dealing with
R-rated things with
bullying.
them?
Well, she did. I mean, well, Wednesday wasn't R, but she didn't want to watch that with me. She watched it first because I think she didn't feel comfortable with the kissing and the love, stuff. So I think that she's gonna be a tough one.
Don't follow my parenting lead. We know that I don't know what I'm talking about. So I just said, yeah, they're old enough. Ask Christian. I have no idea.
Yeah.
Because babies burst from feeding them too much. What a throwback. Uh, okay, speaking of blue people, good transition, Rocks. Aquaman, I feel like some of those fish are totally blue. They're under the water.
Yeah.
Momoa is confirming that he's going to be returning as Aquaman to the DCU. And the confusion in my brain just absolutely continues as to what the Gunn Safran plan is moving forward. Our friend G-Man over at Dark Horizon says James Wan's upcoming sequel, Aquaman and Lost Kingdom. So we know obviously we're going to see him in his own movie. May not be the end of the line for star Jason Momoa. While talking to the Total Film recently, Momoa says he thinks his character absolutely will continue to be involved in the DCU moving forward under the watch of new DC Studios chiefs James Gunn and Peter Safran. On the surface, the Aquaman sequel seems to be the final feature in the DCEU, which gives way to the new cinematic universe that comes mid-2025 with Superman Legacy. However, Gunn and Safran have previously indicated they may end up reusing select actors and their characters from prior universe in the DCU, not unlike what Marvel's doing with Daredevil or what Bond is doing with Judi Dench's. Momoa tells the outlet, Peter Safran's my producer on Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, and as a dear friend, I absolutely think Aquaman will be involved in the DCU. It's on, bro. There's no one bigger than Aquaman. But also, I hope people are excited to see the new one. It's fun. I really enjoy doing comedy. There's really some funny stuff with Patrick Wilson. I really adore him. We had a great time working together. It's like we're brothers. There's a lot of cool stuff happening in this one. Okay, so on this note, I wonder if, because obviously we know that the Flash movie is coming out, we know Aquaman is coming out, and then we know that we're starting this new regime. I I think that the Aquaman movie is after the Flash movie, so he couldn't be referring to seeing him in the Flash movie. It must be referring to seeing him in the future, which I think, and I could be wrong about this, Brett. I really could be wrong, but might be a bold-faced lie.
Oh.
Shazam did so poorly because nobody thought we were going to see him again or he had any relevance to anything in the future. Yeah. I wonder, I don't know that Momoa's like, I'm going to tell this lie, but I wonder if he's like, I'm going to keep the hope alive because I don't know. He could make an appearance in a few years. I absolutely think he's going to be there, sure, because I think maybe Momoa's looking at what is happening to Zachary Levi and he's like, not on my watch. Again, I could be wrong about that, but Shazam just tanked. Absolutely tanked. And I don't think Momoa wants that. No, yeah. Shazam was the lowest opening for any of the DC movies. Oof. It's not even close to making its money back. It is a stinker. It's causing The Rock and Zachary Levi to go to blows with each other. Vin Diesel chimed in and said, Zachary Levi, the enemy of my enemy is my family. I've got you. Like, wow. It's been a whole DC debacle. So, yeah, I wonder, do you think that it's possible, Brett, that in this situation, Momoa's just kind of like, I need ratings?
Well, he did say it's on, bro. So we know that's confirmed. That's a legitimate confirmation.
Yeah, that's gotta be confirmed. It's on, bro.
It's on, bro. He's such a dude. He's I mean, one attractive dude too. Yeah, I don't know what he would gain by just saying that. Maybe but like you said, maybe he's trying to put it out there so everybody says, hey, we gotta throw him in there now. He said it's on, bro. So everybody loves him. They're gonna want him back. So we gotta throw him in. Yeah, I never thought of that he would be lying about it.
I don't think lying in a malicious way. I think just kind of like he hasn't heard he's never coming back. So he's like, yeah, it's on, bro. Because he's looking at what's happening thinking, And if the movie does well, I bet it is on, bruh.
Yeah.
If Shazam annihilated, then I bet Safran and Gunn would have brought Zachary Levi into whatever phase.
Yeah.
Clearly didn't. And there's some behind the scenes ish going on there. But also, as Momoa said, Safran's his producer. And of course, Safran and Gunn are going to want their projects and properties to do well. But I'm pretty sure that Safran is Zachary Levi's producer too.
I'm the expert on that.
Yeah, Brett.
You're holding it down great, Rox.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much. Another thing that you're an absolute expert on, X-Files. Go X-Files.
Okay. What is it? The truth is out there. Is that what the saying was?
Really good job. What are the two main names of the stars of X-Files?
Oh, the stars the characters were Mulder and Scully.
Yes, Brett.
And it's Jillian. What's her last name? Jillian and David Duchovny.
Yeah.
I love her. What do you think I love her in the most that's been out in the last couple of years?
Sex Education.
Yeah. So absolutely wonderful.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
She is amazing. So this is an possible interesting story for all you X-Files fans, because we've seen the X-Files, we saw the X-Files come back, and now Ryan Coogler is planning a possible X-Files reboot. Again, our man G-Man, Dark Horizon, says Black Panther and Creed director Ryan Coogler is reportedly developing a new version of Fox's iconic sci-fi franchise, The X-Files. In an interview with On the Coast with Gloria Makarenko via Bloody Disgusting, The X-Files creator Chris Carter teased that Coogler is currently developing the new version of his franchise. What's not made clear is if this will be a ground-up reboot, another revival, a legacy sequel, or something else. All that's known is the filmmaker's involvement at the time. Carter says in the interview, quote, I just spoke to a young man, Ryan Coogler, who is going to remount the X-Files with a diverse cast. So he's got his work cut out for him because we covered so much territory. End quote. The original series followed FBI agents Fox Mulder, David Duchovny, and Dana Scully, Gillian Anderson, who investigate supernatural phenomena ranging from a global conspiracy involving alien colonization, to more monstrous events involving all sorts of creatures. So that was in 93 to 2001. Then it was revived in 2016 for 2 more seasons. There've been a total of 218 episodes. Uh, there's not many people who could be involved in an X-Files reboot that would get me excited, but Ryan Coogler is one of them. And I like that the original creator's like, well, we've got a lot to figure out because we covered a lot of ground. And it's like they said the one thing that they clearly have figured out. We're going to add diversity to this at the very least. And the thing about that is when you add diversity, it opens up different stories. It's not just like you're adding diversity for diversity's sake. There are storylines that you did not cover because it was not an extremely diverse show. So I'm curious what that means and what directions they do want to go in with this. There's always room on TV for an X-Files type show. That it kind of never goes out of style. People are always gonna be curious about aliens. People always are curious about that like buddy cop kind of format. So I will be interested in this. Brett, is there any world in which you start X-Files by watching this reboot?
I would say yeah. I mean, I'm because I don't have any sort of hardcore love for the original that I would be like, oh, they better not screw up my baby. Like I think that the hardcores are going to be, as with any of these reboots, are the hardest ones to please, and the ones that are going to be like, well, that's not canon in X Files, I guess. So I would see with a new cast with some great new up and comers, maybe some established people. I think I would totally be in this. And the way they're putting money into shows these days, I mean, this could be like a big budget thing, like Last of Us and stuff like that. That's just like an epic show. So I would love to see it, and I vote for it. And I might go back and try the other ones. You know why I didn't watch it? 1993. I was in college. I was a freshman in college, so I was just partying, and we didn't have TVs in our rooms.
I was 2 years old. But why didn't you watch anything in college? Because you guys didn't have TVs? There was no access. Like, did you have a dorm room, dorm TV that everybody went and sat around just
I
envisioning?
remember watching the Olympics with my buddy, and it was one of these cabinet tube televisions, which was old for the time anyway, that they had in like the common area of our dorm. But a couple people had televisions, but it's like I don't know, we just didn't. We watched movies occasionally and stuff like that on VHS, and if somebody had a television in their room, but we hung out a lot. I miss that time when it was just conversation. We didn't have phones. We just hung out and talked and had some beers and just enjoyed company. So I think the young kids today, they're gonna miss out on that.
Does it weird you out that now your kids have televisions in their rooms? I don't know if that's a fact, but I think that you said that Christian gave you a TV or some shit like
Yeah,
that.
well, my son has a TV in his room, and he never watches it. He just does his computer stuff. I'm like, he's got a 50-inch, it's an old plasma, which still looks great, but he doesn't like watch movies or shows. And I'm like, you could even watch YouTube on it. You've got a PlayStation, and he doesn't even watch. He watches it on. I'm like, you're watching a YouTube show on this big of a thing when you could be watching it up on your thing. It's kind of a waste of space at this point.
What are you going to do with it?
Just leave it there for when company. Anytime we have friends come stay, he loses his room, unfortunately, because it's like pretty.
What does he do? He goes on the couch?
Goes on the couch, or like we have friends that have several kids, and they kind of just have a slumber party in the living room and stuff. It's pretty
Cute.
fun.
Oh, I used to love doing that.
Oh, it's so great.
In my house, there was a room that had a ping pong table in it. I loved ping pong growing up. My dad was all state. I'm pretty good at ping pong.
Yes.
And we would get sleeping bags and sleep like under the table and around the table when I would have, like 4 kids sleep over. And I remember like thinking about it, it was the coolest thing my parents let us do. I was like, that is amazing. Now looking back, I'm like, how does your body function? Like it's a hardwood floor.
Oh.
I just slept in a bag on the floor.
Yeah, that's rough. Yeah,
It
we had
wasn't.
a ping pong table too, but we had carpet and it was this thick. It was like that really, it was just for a playroom or whatever. We lived the same life in some ways, Rox. My dad, was like, oh, he was totally all state ping pong and like,
Was he?
taught me all the tricks and he held it like a different way and
Oh
stuff. And
yeah,
I didn't believe
I've got
him.
the Japanese grip and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. He's
Yeah.
like, I did competitions and Boy Scouts and stuff like that. It was fun. We should form a team and go hustle people at ping pong parlors.
Yeah, I haven't
Those
played in a
exist.
really long time, but on the dating apps, one of the things that I'm always seeing is like this thing that says "teach me how to whatever," and a lot of guys will say, "Or I can teach you how to," and then you put a picture, and they'll say, "I can teach you how to," and it's them holding a ping pong,
Oh wow.
whatever, and I just always think like I should definitely be like, "Yes, teach me," and then show up like top spin, boom, bitch. You've been Roxy.
Oh, you beat me. Should we put 100 on this next one?
100%.
Hustle,
Yeah, I gotta
hustle.
hustle them. That's the truth. Brett, how's your energy after all that ping pong that you play?
Well, I tell you what, Rox, nothing helps me out more than our sponsor, Athletic Greens. And yes, AG1. I take it daily. I've been taking it since the minute we got this sponsor and have not stopped. I pushed everybody in the crew to get some, and everybody is loving it. It's so great to do. I do it in the morning because that's when I'm just dragging. Right before I get the kids ready for school, I mix one up, I shake it up. I actually make one for my wife too. She has one as well on the way to work, and we both love it. We have been taking it every day since, like I said, since the beginning. So it's tough because I used to take a lot of supplements and things like that too, and so did my wife. And this what's great about AG1 is that it has 75 vitamins and minerals in it. That's all in one thing. You just have to shake it up, put it in water, and you get all that in one delicious drink. And it tastes good too. You've had some of these other, drinks before, and they taste like you're drinking grass. No, AG1 is delicious, and it doesn't have that weird grassy taste. And you're doing something good for your body. I just know every day that I've done something good for my body when I'm taking AG1. It's delivered every month. So it's really easy to get into that daily habit. You can also get the single serving patch, which I love when I go on like vacation, or I just have one in the car. Like if I, want to, go somewhere and I forget that I haven't taken my morning one, so I take those packets with me. I always have a few in the car, and they're super handy. All right, so how do I get it some AG1? Well, I'll tell you what you need to do. If you're looking for an easier way to take supplements, Athletic Greens is giving you a free 1-year supply of vitamin D and 5 free travel packs with your first purchase. Go to athleticgreens.com/big thing. That's athleticgreens.com/big thing. Check it out. Oh yeah, so this has been helping me out. I feel like it's helped my recovery.
Good. I'm really glad to hear that. You need it with all the ping pong and TV watching,
Oh man,
all the
just
other strenuous.
strenuous
I,
activities.
you know what I can't believe? That we're supposed to walk 10,000 steps a day. Like yesterday, I went on an hour and 15-minute walk. And I came home. I was with a friend, and we walked to go get lunch. And then we walked around her neighborhood, and we walked back. This is after I went to the IRS building, which was a nightmare. I can tell you about it in a second. But we walked back, and I looked at my phone, and it said that I had done 6,500 steps. And I was like, you're telling me I'm supposed to walk more than that in a day? Like, I don't get it.
It's
I don't
tough.
get it. That's really, really tough. I went to the IRS yesterday, Brett. It was a nightmare. They owe me money
Yeah.
for my tax return, and they can't identify that I am me for whatever reason. And it's been a year and a half that I haven't been paid from my 2021 tax return. So I finally, they set up, we did a phoner, we did a thing online. They couldn't confirm that I was me through these series of questions that are like the most basic questions ever, like what's your mom's name, what's your dad's name, like things like that. They said I had to come in person, I had to take the day off work. I get to the building. They only have this one parking structure. It's $10 for parking. You have to park using, you cannot pay card. You can only pay cash, and they don't take bills $20 and over. So I had to leave the parking structure, go to the bank, get $10 bills, go back to the parking structure, park, almost missed my appointment, get there. This, again, a year and a half of this. I had to print 150 pages of paperwork. I had to bring my last 4 years of tax, of all of my 1099s, W-2s, everything, and like an ID, my license, my passport, multiple utility bills, my lease, all this stuff. I get there, walk in, I sit down, and they said, "What's your name?" They said, I gave it to them. They said, "Oh, they sent out a check to you on Friday."
Oh no. That's wow.
I thought I was gonna punch somebody in the face.
That was, and you buried the lead on that so wonderfully. Oh, that was such a good, that was such a good yarn that you just, oh man. Oh.
I was
So
like,
you didn't need to do any of
you've
that.
wasted both of our time completely. And she said, "Well, that's a different department." And I said, "Okay." Okay. And like between the $10 parking, this place is ass far in the valley from me. So all of the gas, the $15 it took me to print the 150 pages,
Yeah.
like it, and taking a whole day off of work, that's hundreds of dollars I lost
That's ridiculous.
for no reason.
Yeah.
So annoyed.
I still don't understand how they didn't, that you had to prove you were who you were. That's just, after years of paying taxes, you suddenly, they can't verify your identity.
It's a new thing that they have implemented apparently this past year, that they randomly select people. But you know who was randomly selected this year? My dad, my brother, my sister, and myself.
What?
I think it's because my accountant was hacked. I don't know. Whatever.
Oh,
It's
man.
been a whole debacle, but apparently the check should be coming around the mountain when she comes. Is that song about sex? Yes or no?
Oh, yeah, maybe. It could be. Now it will be forever, now that you've said that.
Yeah. I mean, she'll be coming around the mountain when
Yeah,
she
come
comes.
on. Jeez. Causing
When
a
we
flood.
singing as a kid. Yeah. All right. D&D. Also very sexy.
Oh, yeah.
Also very, very, very sexy.
Sounds
Well,
sexy.
I saw this movie, and you have not, right, Brett?
No, I haven't.
Do you plan on it?
Yeah, I'll probably watch it at home. Because I grew up when D&D was during the Satanic Panic, and I thought everybody that played it were worshiping Satan. So I never got into it.
That was something that was said to you by your family, or what was the deal?
It was like this was in the 80s. It was like, they touch on it in Stranger Things. But like there was Satan was like huge back then. Satan was so hot in the 80s.
Satan was like so popular.
It was so cool. And yeah, you were scared. Like, and I legitimately remember walking into like a nerdy theater party and seeing some guys playing D&D, and I'm like, oh my God, they're doing Satan stuff. I mean, like, I figured it out soon enough when I, realized that that's just stupid. But, there's when you're younger, you believe certain things. And yeah, I never got into it. But I'd love to try it out. I'd love to try the game, and I think from seeing the trailers for this, I think this looks like it's super fun and has some good humor in it. And I'll check it out on when it comes out streaming. Probably won't go to the theater.
So I don't remember, Brett. Maybe you have a better memory than I do about this. And this is the problem with doing shows. This is the problem with people holding me to my word. And when I do shows like this, there was a show that you, Christian, and I did a while back where maybe it was after Comic-Con. We were talking about Dungeons and Dragons. We were talking about Lord of the Rings, and we were talking about Game of Thrones or House of the Dragon. And none of those three things had come out yet. And we were talking about all three things. Maybe they all dropped trailers or teasers. Again, it might have been after Comic-Con. And I remember, I don't remember how I felt about the Dungeons and Dragons trailer at the time. I think I felt lackluster about the Lord of the Ring one. And then I think that we were like, oh, maybe this Dungeons and Dragons trailer is too silly. This might not work.
Yeah.
Or I thought this is so fun and seems great. I don't remember how I felt. It was one of those two things. So I kind of have been avoiding talking about what my expectations were going in because I'm like, I don't even remember. I just remember we were comparing those three things because they're all kind of fantasy. They were all coming, all the news was coming out at a similar time about them. So I don't remember, but I have now played, I don't know all the terminology, but Joe Starr had me, Steph, and D for the World Girls do a campaign, I
Yeah, yeah,
guess.
that's the
And
word. Yeah.
so we did two different sessions. Sessions might not be the right word.
That's a different.
Two different
No, I'm sure
times.
it could be called sessions too,
Yeah,
but
whatever it
I
is.
know what having a sesh is. I'm cool.
Yeah, we had
Rocks.
two sessions. All right. So dope. And in those two sessions, I kind of just fell in love with it. It was so cool. I think it's a DM, a dungeon master. So he
Hmm.
was the DM and he told us what to do and like, when to roll. And he really walked us through it. And what I loved about it is that I didn't have to know shit when you have somebody who knows what they're doing. They can kind of walk you through all that stuff. So I was really, really excited to play. So I felt like going into this was either going to make me want to D&D more or it was going to be like, Rox, this isn't for you. And after the movie, I definitely wanted D&D more. And I think that that's probably such a great thing that this movie can do for Dungeons and Dragons. Like I'm sure that when they sat down and they initially were like, we're going to make a D&D movie, they have a list of things they want to accomplish, right? Number one, first and foremost, we got to make a ton of money.
Yeah.
Otherwise, there's no chance at a future movie. Number two, we want to bring awareness and get more people involved with D&D because they brings more money back and just gets it in the zeitgeist more. And I think that this movie is going to accomplish both those things in spades because it's very accessible, the movie. Like you're watching it and you don't feel like you're on the outside. And that's how I thought I was going to feel playing D&D. I thought I was going to be like, oh, I'm not part of this community. This is so difficult. But the community wants you involved so badly in D&D, and this
Yeah.
movie wants you so badly involved in it that it's not confusing. It's not like just for the fans. Of course, they use some verbiage that I was like, oh, I don't know that word, but it's easy enough to pick up on what they're talking about. And so I think that they did an excellent job with this of making it fun, light, but still poignant. The third act is very impactful and powerful. And it's like a really good entry point, as well as my friends that are big D&D players or big RPG people are really liking it. So I think that they accomplished everything they wanted to. And so I think that this movie is going to more than stick the landing. I think it's going to be the first of many in what I believe will probably be a trilogy, maybe 4 D&D movies, which is awesome for them.
Yeah, I can see that because of the nature of the game and how it is something where the it's always changing and I mean there's so many directions that it can go. Now my question is like is there is it presented as it's a game that people are a
No,
part of or yeah, like
no. So
that's
it's
where I
not
was
like
confused.
it's not like Stranger Things where there are people doing D&D. This
Hmm.
is like if it was a D&D campaign, what the actual
Okay.
storyline is, which I think was smarter. But they do have a device that they use where it is a person being a storyteller in it. So I feel like it kind of is a little bit of a combo, but mostly it is just watching a fantasy movie play out.
Love it.
That has a lot of the elements of like, in D&D you've got I forget the names of all the things, but like
Mages, I know.
cards and
Yeah.
just all that. Like it's got the elements of D&D stuff, dragons and stuff like that. Um,
Dungeons.
yeah, yes and yes.
Yes.
Okay, Brett, this will be fun. What are 10 things you think would be in a D&D game and a D&D movie?
Well, yeah. Mages is one thing I know of.
What's a mage?
A mage is that. Do they do potions and things like that, or am I wrong about that?
I don't know, but okay, a potion maker.
And then oh god, I don't know the other things. It's
You just
you
said
said
it.
bard, but dragons,
Dragon,
dungeons.
dungeon,
Well, definitely swords.
swords.
and I would say medieval garb.
Yup.
Yeah,
Okay,
I
you're
mean,
halfway there.
slaps. Oh, 10 things. I would say there's going to be a joke about somebody stepping in poop, probably a horse
Okay.
poop.
Okay.
Um, and there's going to be people arguing and fighting amongst themselves within
Mm.
this group during the campaign.
Uh-huh.
Um,
Uh-huh.
and definitely humor.
Yup.
And
Yup.
oh, lightning bolts.
Okay.
Isn't that a thing? You can throw lightning bolts at people?
Sure. I think that this movie is going to be probably exactly what you think this movie is going to
Yeah,
be.
yeah. I,
Like,
I, the trailers got me. I mean, like, I was like, this looks super fun. So it's definitely something that I wasn't like, oh, this is. And I'm glad that the D&D people are loving it. I root for the hardcores for these things to be happy with the outcome. I
yeah.
want. I'm saddened by Star Wars fans and their disappointment in the franchise. It because it's just like I get that fandom if can lead you to heartache sometimes, and I want them to have happy endings.
These fan but these fans seem to be a lot lighter than the Star Wars fandom. This has a 90% on the tomato meter and a 94% audience score. It is killing it. I'm really interested to see what you guys at home feel about the movie when you see it. It comes out Thursday, right?
I believe so. Yeah, I know it's this week. Let me pull
Yeah.
up.
Yeah. And also, what you didn't mention, but I'm sure you know, dreamy people.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
there's everybody's in hottie in this. It's a bunch of hotties with bodies for sure. I'm glad for the D&D people. I'm happy for them, and I hope that this causes more people to play along. It is hard to figure out how to start. Like if today, Brett, you were like, I really want to do D&D, what would you do?
Malcolm, for one, would be the person I would contact.
Does
Yeah.
Malcolm play a lot of D&D?
Oh yeah, he's a dungeon master.
He's
Yeah.
a DM.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
slide in the DMs of a
Yeah. Oh yeah. You
DM.
hit Malcolm up. I have other friends that do that sort of thing, and I think I'm going to be playing it. This that board gaming and gaming show that I did. I don't know if you remember when I went to
No,
like
what are you talking about?
Germany and stuff, and
Oh, yeah, yeah.
yeah, that one finally got some funding, so I'm actually have a writing session tomorrow, and we're gonna be doing that. And I think one of the things is us, there's some few sketches where we dress up in like D&D stuff, and especially with the popularity of the movie, we will be doing that. I have a question for you,
What you
Roxy.
got, Brett?
If like D&D fans, like they're a little disappointed in this film, what would you suggest that the D&D fans, if maybe they get a little depressed after seeing this and they didn't hit the way they wanted it to?
Well, I'm hoping that doesn't happen for the D&D fans, but there is a lot going on in the world right now to be upset about. And luckily for you guys, the show is brought to you by BetterHelp. So all of us can be feeling really down because getting to know ourselves is a lifelong process. And right now we are going through a very tough time. As you guys know from listening to this show, I'm not the same person today that I was a year ago or pre-pandemic or 10 years ago. And sometimes you need a little extra help, and BetterHelp connects you with a licensed therapist who can take you on that journey of self discovery from wherever you are. It was about 5 weeks ago when I called Christian Harloff and I said, we've been talking about BetterHelp a lot, and I could use some help. And immediately he was like, okay, let's get you involved. Let's get you started. And I did. I started with BetterHelp, and I just had my 5th session with my therapist. And I have to tell you guys, I've done therapy in the past, and I've always been somebody who believes that therapy is really important and something that can really help you in getting to know yourself and give you the tools that you need to accomplish things. And this therapist is amazing. She has been so awesome. We message every night. At night, she has me kind of journal to her and send her things. We talk once a week, and I honestly like I've been breathing a little easier because when you feel like you're on an island, sometimes it can be just very, very difficult. And, you think you're doing it alone, and you don't have to. So I hope that it can be as beneficial for you guys as it has been for me. If you're thinking of starting therapy, please give BetterHelp a try. It's worked for me, and I really think it can work for you guys. It's entirely online, so it can be based on your schedule. And if you are busy like I am, this is a very flexible way to be involved with therapy. You can discover your potential with BetterHelp. Please visit betterhelp.com/big thing to get your 10% off of your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/big thing. I really think that you guys are going to really love this the way that I have. And I'm just so grateful. I can't wait till my 6th session.
That's great. Yeah, and
It's
I
been
think
awesome.
and I love how a lot of us are open about these things, because I think there are still people that feel alone in that, and that don't realize that, like, I think people think like, oh, depression and anxiety is on the rise. No, I think just awareness and people being willing to talk about it is on the rise, and that's what's a beautiful thing, is that we've kind of started to have each other's backs in these things, and I think that's great, and this is easy.
Absolutely. And after I mentioned it on this show, it was kind of wild to me, Brett, because I started getting all these messages from people being like, "Thank you so much for being open with your journey. And I'm struggling with this and I'm struggling with this." And I think because of the circles that we keep, like when I was struggling, I called Christian and I was like, "I need some help." And I have been able to be open with you guys. And I think you've been very open about your depression journey as well, Brett. So I take for granted that we are in a circle of artists who are willing to talk about this more. But there are people and there are places here where still, like, it matters to them that we're talking about this and being open, and they don't have that in the same way. So if it makes anybody else feel any bit better or any bit less alone, then it's really important to talk about. And yeah, it's nice to be able to talk about one of our sponsors that I personally can attest to, that I'm like, wow, this is like been so unbelievably beneficial for me. And yeah, my family, my friends, they're starting to laugh at me too, because when you have a new therapist that you love and you start like quoting them in casual conversation, I'm like, well, my therapist says that, and they're just like, oh my God, amazing. So it's definitely been working really, really well for me.
I'm glad to hear it. That's
Thank
wonderful.
you. I appreciate that, because the world is so crazy right now, Brett.
Yeah.
Like, don't you kind of get confused? I saw on Twitter, going back to Twitter, I've been seeing on Twitter, like, actually, friend of this show on this network. I'm so happy for him. But Winston, did you see what he tweeted this week?
No, I missed it.
Winston tweeted this thing this week that made me beam from ear to ear. I was so excited for him. But okay, this is what he tweeted. I'm going to find this for you. He said, "I'm having a series of days right now where I'm absolutely on top of the world. I'm completely exhausted and still fully stressed, but I'm just really feeling good right now. Sending all my good vibes and energy to everyone who needs it." And I was like, I have not felt on top of the world. Like, that's unbelievable. And I'm so stoked for you. When is the last time, Brett, that you felt on top of the world?
Yeah. No, that's a feeling that's been I think, well, I'll tell you, yeah, I know. It was when my son was born and when my daughter was born. Those were top of the world feelings. And there's been some spatterings of like things that we've had happen since then, but booking a commercial, sometimes I'd be jumping for joy, but it's not been recently that I've had that. It's
Totally.
raining man. I don't know why that would be the song, but that would be
Maybe
the
you
song.
gotta pop out another babe, Brett.
Yeah, gotta get another one.
Or you could just watch a bunch of TV where the
Ooh.
characters are feeling much better than we are. But then for a moment, you get those endorphins and start to feel happy. Yes, that's right. I've got some picks for you guys this week. TV, TV,
TV.
TV.
I
Yeah.
want to hear about this one because my wife is obsessed with BTS, and we watch Physical 100. We watched and I'm interested in this K drama, The Glory.
Okay, so thank you to you guys at home for recommending The Glory to me. Enough of you guys recommended this, and Netflix kept recommending it, and I was like, okay, let me start this. Now, I'm not finished with it yet, but so far, it's awesome. It kind of reminds me of the show Revenge, but definitely more dark and twisted. The main character growing up is tortured in school. I mean, tortured. She is so badly bullied that it is hard to watch. And the entire show is about her growing up and refocusing her entire life to get revenge on all of the people who bullied her. It is an awesome drama. You root for her so hard, but you also feel very conflicted about the things that she chooses to do. I'm really liking it. And you guys know sometimes I struggle with subtitles. I haven't been with this. It's been really, really catching my attention. And thank you for you guys at home for recommending this.
That's awesome. I'm definitely that's on our list. We're gonna check that one out.
Okay, good.
I know. Well, I'm going to save the best for last with you. You gave me the opportunity to just pick what I got. So why don't we hear about this one? Let's hear about this one right here.
Okay, so this is Succession. Obviously, I had to put this on my list because it finally returned for its final season. We had one episode. I have been missing this show since the day that it went off of air. I think this is the best written show on television. I don't think that you can call yourself a TV fan and not at least respect this show because of all of the moving parts and just like the pure genius in the writing and in the stories. Is this just another Wall Street type drama where it is an extremely white show about really rich people? And might that not be up your alley right now? Yes, it's possible, but I do think that this is the best show on TV, if not a top 5 show on TV. The performances are unbelievable. It is so cringeworthy. Shout out to Alan Ruck, who stars in this, who I'll be in a movie with later this year. Could not be more happy to have that on my resume and to work with such a genius. But everybody in this is just truly, truly amazing. And the first episode back felt like, oh my gosh, they're going to stick the landing here. This is going to be a great final season.
Awesome. And up next, let's do this one.
Daisy Jones and the Six is a show that loosely is based off of, it seems like Fleetwood Mac. It's based off of a book that feels like it's based off Fleetwood Mac. If you love the 70s and you love 1970s rock and roll music, this is the best soundtrack of any show I've ever watched in my life. I don't understand. They must have spent millions and millions of dollars on the soundtrack alone. This is Riley Keough, who's obviously Lisa Marie Presley's daughter, and so we've got a living legend here, and it's just really well performed drama. They're on the road, all the things that you would think are happening based on me saying it's like Fleetwood Mac. If this sounds good to you, you're probably gonna like it. It's a little over the top and sometimes is a wee bit soap opera-y, but I think it's excellent, and it's on Amazon.
You had me at Fleetwood Mac.
Yeah.
Let's check out. This is one that I hear so much about, and God, there's so many good shows I got to check out. What about this one?
Yellow Jackets just aired its premiere episode for season 2, and thank goodness it did. I have loved this show for the entire freshman year season. It was nominated for so many awards, rightfully so. We saw Melanie Lynskey win for this, but she's not the only one who deserves to win for this. It is so, so good. If you loved Lost, if you like more horror elements in shows, it's not too late to start this. If you have Showtime, this is must-watch television. It is eerie. It is spooky. It is creepy. It's cult-like. It is one of the best shows on television. And just, yes, all around, everybody on the show, mwah, chef's kiss, so good.
Wonderful. And I think this one's getting a lot of buzz too for being, is it culty? No, what is it? Let's see. Let's check it out. Boom.
Swarm. Janine Neighbors, Donald Glover, they bring us Swarm. This is basically what if all of the Beehive, Beyonce's major fans, except here they make up a name that isn't Beyonce, but it's essentially like, her fans, or any major fandom like BTS or the Swifties. What if one of them became so obsessed that they took a really dark turn and tried to seek revenge on anybody who didn't like their hero? It is very out there, horrifying. Dominique Fishback is so good in this. like when I started watching, I was like, what the hell is this show? And every episode I was like, no. It was recommended to me by Mark Ellis. And I was like, okay, then I got to do this because Ellis never recommends me TV. And I watched the whole season in one day.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, that one I heard there's a lot of people that have different opinions on that one.
I know. I know.
So this one, there's two more in the same genre, and I'm going to start with this one.
I had to put this on here because it was the season finale of The Bachelor. He ends up with one girl who I like, but the girl that he didn't end up with, it was such a bummer because I feel like at the end, he didn't need to do what he did. Usually The Bachelor doesn't anymore bring the final two to that night, like to stand up there for the proposal. He brought her there. She deserves, a spoiler alert, Gabby deserves so much better. I'm happy for him and Katie, but Gabby deserves so much better. It was a fine season. I think he's actually a good guy. I hope they live happily ever after. We'll see if they do. But all things considered, it was a little lackluster. It was fine.
All right, next one. Boom.
Love is Blind had its first part drop, and everybody is talking about this for good reason. There are villains. There are heroes. There is love. They fall in love through a wall. If you like dating competition shows, or I guess it's not a competition show. The only competition is to find your person. If you like dating shows, this is the dating show. I'll be talking about this every week until it's off. So I think that's for the next 3 weeks. Catch up. There have been 5 episodes that dropped so far. It is like the craziest experiment ever. And it's actually worked for a couple of the couples in the past. So yes, Love is Blind. It's everything. Brett, I really think you should jump on that one.
Yeah, I think I talked to my wife about that one. And she's like, we checked out I forgot we had done some of the first season, but I don't know how we fell off. It seems like it's because I'm done with Bachelor. I think I could try Love is Blind because it's a different take on it. Now, Rox, we would normally talk about your love life, but you got to get out of here. So I'll let you close down.
No updates, so I'll just get out of here. But also, I just want to remind the people one more time that April 28th, we're doing a show at Flappers. It's going to be all of us. thechristianharloff.com. That's where you can get your tickets. If you want to see us all there, then you should show the fuck up because that's where we'll be, and it's going to be a really great show. So please come out, support us. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel, all that great stuff. Pick up your merch. Support Christian during his sick time. Let's pimp this out. Make it so that this episode does well. Like it so that he knows that he can trust me and Brett. When Dad's not home, the kids will play, all of that good stuff. We'll be back next week. We'll see you guys then. Thank you so much for watching, and feel better soon, Brett. Feel better, Christian. Keep safe, everyone.